ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟು ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್. ನಾವು ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದಾಗ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್. ಆಸ್ ಎ ಲೀಡರ್ ನಾವು ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ರೆಡಿ ಟು ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಮೋಟಿವೇಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ and after that I should be able to motivate others. ಮೋದಿಜಿ ತನ್ನನ್ನು ತಾನೇ ಮೋಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು in order to define that he should not be capable of sleeping for more than 4 hours because his time is very very valuable. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರು ಬಂದು ಮೋದಿಜಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. He has to self-pep himself that he has to develop that leadership quality because he is not occupying an ordinary pedestal. He is occupying a very higher end pedestal. ಆ ಒಂದು ಡಯಾಸ್ ನಾವು ಆಕ್ಯುಪೈ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ our responsibilities will be more. ಅದಕ್ಕೇನೆ there is a beautiful statement. All of you ನೀವು ಸ್ಪೈಡರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ನೋಡಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಪೈಡರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರ ಅಂಕಲ್ ಒಂದು ವಿಚಾರ ತಿಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಮೈ ಡಿಯರ್ ಸನ್, ವಿತ್ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್. ಅಂದರೆ ನಿನಗೆ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಬರೋದು ಒಂದೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ನೀವು ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ನು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬೇಕು. ಅವಾಗಲೇ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಅಚೀವ್ ಒಮಂಗಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಥರ, ಒಮಂಗಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ನೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಥರ. ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಇಟ್. See, when I have to define what is leadership skills, leadership is an ability to influence self. First, I have to influence self. Most of us, we are not ready to influence self, but we are ready to influence others. For some reason, you have a daughter or you have a son. Your son and daughter come up to you and say, Dad, it's high time that you start jogging, you start exercising. You have already reached 40 plus. Don't you think that you will have to focus on your health? You say, yes, I need to focus on my health. So what should I do? Because you want to listen, you want to give that friendly relationship with your son and daughter. And the daughter says, Papa, tomorrow I'll fix an alarm at 5 o'clock and I'll wake you up at 5 o'clock. Please wake up and start either jogging or doing yoga or doing some exercise. Okay, you say, and you go to bed. And religiously to tomorrow morning, your daughter will come and she will wake you up. Papa, what ma? Papa, what? You were supposed to get up and start doing the exercises. ನೀವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ಬಿಡಮ್ಮ, ಇವತ್ತು ಬೇಡ, ನಾಳೆಯಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಾಯ್ತು. You are not ready to take unconditional responsibility there, irrespective of, in spite of ಏನೇ ಇದ್ರು ನಾನು ಎದ್ದು ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. It is my jawabdari. Why? I will have to first influence myself. But ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, you are not ready to do that. Now your daughter is actually ಬೇಜಾರು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ and she is also pissed off. So next day ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಕಾಲೇಜಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದ ತಕ್ಷಣ, ಪಾಪ ವಾಟ್, ನಾಳೆ ನನಗೆ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಇದೆ ಪಾಪ 6 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗೆ. ಸೊ ನಾನು 5 ಗಂಟೆಗೆಲ್ಲ ಎದ್ದು ರೆಡಿ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ವಿಲ್ ಯು ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಮೀ ಬೈ 5:30 ಪಾಪ ಅಂದಾಗ he says yes. Now you as a dad, you also go to bed, she also goes to bed. Nobody need to wake you up. You wake up at 4 o'clock, you take bath, you wake your wife at 4 o'clock, ask her to prepare the breakfast. The breakfast is kept ready, and 5:30 you go and you knock at the door of your daughter and say, ready idiyamma? Naan ready idini, we will go. Then daughter will say, Papa, naan heliddu ನೀವು ಈಗ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಲಿ ಅಂತ ಎಬ್ರಿಸಿದ್ದು. But will you go for exercise? You will again go back to the bed and sleep. Why? After some years, you assume that I need not self-pep myself. So ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫೋಟೋಗಳನ್ನ if I go back to your college days, you will be appearing like a chapati. But slowly after marriage, looking at your wife, I don't know what happens, you start becoming a simple puri. After kids are born, you become a big puri, and after kids start growing up, you become a bhatura. Who asked you to become from chapati to bhatura? It was your choice. Why? You were not ready to take up self. You were not ready to influence self. Always, even in Buddhism, it is told, live and let live. First, you will have to live a life of principles, and then you will have to, actually, you can say others also to live the life of principles. Let me share a beautiful story you will understand. This is a true story which happened in Pune. He happens to be my friend, and he's not like any other friend. He's a very good friend of mine. Why do I call him as a good friend, Andre? Even in your friend circle, you can imagine there are certain people who will go up to others and try to help them. There are certain people, when somebody come up to them also and then ask, I need your help, they are not ready to help. ಈತ ಯಾರೇ ಬಂದ್ರು, ಎಲ್ಲೇ ಒಂದು ಹೆಲ್ಪಿನ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅನ್ಕಂಡೀಷನಲಿ ಈಸ್ ರೆಡಿ ಟು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವ. ಅವನು ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಮುಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪುಣೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಬಾಂಬೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಸ್ ರೂಟೀನ್? ಅರ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ 4 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಎದ್ದು ಯೋಗ ಗೀಗ ಮಾಡಿ 5 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಈ ಲೀವ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೋಮ್. ಬೈ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಈ ರೀಚಸ್ ಬಾಂಬೆ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ 1.5 hour journey, he reaches Bombay and then he completes his work. Late in the night he again comes back. ಇದು ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ರೂಟೀನ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವ ಎಂಥದ್ದು ಅಂದರೆ, ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಏನೇ ಸಹಾಯ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೂ ಅನ್ಕಂಡೀಷನಲಿ ಈ ಗೋಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಸ್. ಹೀಗೆ ಒಂದಿನ ಅರ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಸಡನ್ ರೈಟ್ ಇನ್ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಹಿಮ್ he sees there is a Mercedes Benz car which goes very fast and it slips and it hits into a big tree. ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮರಕ್ಕೆ ಡಿಕ್ಕಿ ಹೊಡೆದು ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಆಘಾತದ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಕೇಳುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಆ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಕೇಳುತ್ತೆ. ಇವ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಂಜೂರ್ ಆದವ್ರನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಫೋಟೋ ತಕ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾರೂ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಕೆಲವರು ಸೆಲ್ಫಿ ತಕ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ, ದೇ ಕೀಪ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್. ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಬ್ರು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಂಜೂರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಸೆಲ್ಫಿ ತಕ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಫೋಟೋ ತಕ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ, ದೇ ಕೀಪ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್. This person, as he was driving, he had already made up his mind, come what may, I will help them today. That is the only goal I have for myself. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಫೋಟೋ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಗೈ ಗೋಸ್ ದೇರ್, ಈ ಟ್ರೈಸ್ ಟು ಓಪನ್ ದ ಡೋರ್. ಆ ಡೋರ್ ಲಾಕ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಫೋರ್ಸಬಲಿ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜನ ಬಂದವರು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಇವ್ನಿಗೆ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಮೆಸ್, ಅನ್ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಡಿಟೇಷನ್, ಅನ್ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಟು ದ ಕೋರ್ಟ್. ವೈ ಡು ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಆಲ್ ದ ಜಂಜಟ್? ಬೋತ್ ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್ ಆರ್ ಇಂಜೂರ್ಡ್ so badly they will never live. Everybody is there to advise, nobody is there to unconditionally help. But this man, my friend, he had already decided, I'm going to help him unconditionally. When there was nobody to help, he sees a vegetable vendor who was pushing his cart. He wanted his help. When he requests him for the help, ಅವನು ಸಹ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಸರ್ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿರ ಅಂತವನು ಸರ್, ಎವ್ರಿ ಡೇ ನಾನು ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೇ ನನ್ನ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಊಟ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದು, ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನನ್ನ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡಿ. ಈ ಗಿವ್ಸ್ ಇಮ್ 500 rupees. ನೀನೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಡಪ್ಪ, ಇದು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನಿನ್ನತ್ರ ಏನಾದರೂ ರಾಡ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ತೊಗೊಂಬ, ಅದೊಂಚೂರು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನಾನು ಕಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಂಡೋಸಿ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದು ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊತೀನಿ. ಸರ್ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಹೇಳ್ಬಾರ್ದು ನಾನು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ. ಇಲ್ಲ, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟೆಲ್. ಸೊ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಅವನ ಹತ್ರ ಒಂದು ಚೀಸಲ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಡೋರ್ನ ತೆಗೆದು, ಡ್ರೈವರು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟಾಗಿ wounded ಆಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವನು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಬಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಸೀಟಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ. ಹಿಂದೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಪ್ಯಾಸೆಂಜರ್ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವನಿಗೂ ಗಾಯಗಳು ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಅವನು ಅನ್ಕಾನ್ಷಿಯಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಅವನು ತೊಗೊಂಬಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಸೀಟಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಅವನದು ಕಾರೆಲ್ಲ ರಕ್ತ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ವರಿಡ್, ಈ ವಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಅನ್ಕಂಡೀಷನಲಿ. he has already decided, I will help unconditionally come what may. ಆಮೇಲಿಂದ he drives all the way, and after he drives 3 kilometers, he sees a very big multi-speciality hospital. As soon as he goes there, the emergency team was there, and they were always equipped to pick up any kind of accident case and immediately give them the first aid. They immediately take him there into the ICU, into the operation theater, and the operation starts. Because my friend was tired doing all this, trying to open the door, in that tiredness, he just closed his eyes and he dozed off. All of a sudden, when he opened his eyes, he could feel that somebody was tapping on his back. He looked back, it was the doctor. And the doctor says, thank you very much, sir. You have saved 2 lives. ನೀವು ಒಂದು 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಲೇಟಾಗಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ರು, ಇಬ್ಬರೂ ನಾವು ಬಚಾವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. He feels proud. ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ICUಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಆಮೇಲಿಂದ ಬಂದು ನೀವು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಟೇಕ್ ರೆಸ್ಟ್, ಕಾಫಿ ಗಿಫಿ ಕೊಡಿದ್ರೆ. ಈ ಆಸ್ ದ ನರ್ಸ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಎ ಕಾಫಿ ಅಂತ. ನೋ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಅಂತಾನೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ he was very tired, he dozes off. All of a sudden, when he opens his eyes, he is disturbed because the entire media is in front of him. They are clicking photos. One person says, I am CNN, one more, I am from Times Now, one more, I am from NDTV. What is your name? Where do you stay? How did you save this man? Because the person whom he had saved was one of the biggest business magnate of Bombay, and his life was rescued by my friend. And after he rescued, there was no looking back. Tomorrow in all the newspapers, his photo was there. In all the news channels, late in the night and next day, and for the next few weeks, he was all over the place. He had become an overnight hero. All of us want to become that overnight hero, but are we ready to take up that unconditional responsibility? No. We don't want to take up the pain, we just want the results. All of you have seen Dangal. You want that medal ceremony where somebody comes and gives you the medal, but you are not ready to volunteer and take up that responsibility and give up on whatever we call it as pani puri, give up on oily products, give up on school, only exercising, and finally the results will be out. But we are not ready for this, we directly want the results. That cannot happen. That is what we will have to make our students understand. A leadership quality is where we are ready to take up what is called as unconditional responsibility. So here was my friend who was ready to take up unconditional responsibility. Most of the people who just passed clicking photos, they started thinking, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ನಾನು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರೋದು, ನಾನು ಓವರ್ ನೈಟ್ ಹೀರೋ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. It doesn't happen like that. It has to be unconditional. When it can be unconditional, only then you qualify to become a leader. It doesn't mean that every chaiwala will become a prime minister, every tribal woman will become a president, every paper boy will become Abraham Lincoln, every lawyer will become a father of nation, every teacher who has come in an exchange program will become Mother Teresa, and every ordinary man becomes a Subhash Chandra Bose. No, it's highly unimaginable. That is not going to happen. When will they be able to achieve all that? If they have exhibited what is called as leadership skills. For a leader, self-motivation is very important. Nobody is going to come and motivate Tendulkar that he needs to hit one more century. Tendulkar has to self-motivate himself in order to go before the match, that this match is going to be the match where I am going to increase my centuries by one more. From 55 to 56. And from 56 to 57, from 78 to 79, from 98 to 99, from 99 to 100, there is nobody else who is going to come from the outside world to self-motivate. You will have to self-motivate yourself. One of the greatest lesson of leadership skill is a leader is the one who is capable of self-motivating himself, because there is ups and downs in life. You cannot expect your life is going to be a very comfortable cakewalk. It is never going to be like that. You will always have hurdles. When you have hurdles, you should be able to self-motivate yourself. You cannot expect Jambavanta to come. You cannot expect Chanakya to come. But sometimes you can act as that Jambavanta and Chanakya as a teacher when you are addressing a people, and you can try and motivate them. Otherwise, one of the greatest leadership quality is if a person can self-motivate himself. And the moment you become that leader, you are always looked up to. You can't break the rules now. When I become a president, I cannot break the rules now. Now I will relax. No, there is no point of relaxation at all. Now anyway I have become the prime minister. Let me take a holiday trip. No, that's not going to qualify you as a great leader. People will start calling you Pappu if you start doing that. So when you become a leader, when you are hoisted as a flag, people look up to you, and as a leader, you will have to live your responsibilities every breath. Most of the Khadi people who took up the responsibility, they were not able to live every breath in that right principles. So today, the name Khadi itself has become a bad word. People are actually taking Khadi as a bad word. So you will have to ask yourself this question: is it my Now it is in aeroplane mode. Continuing to record? Okay. Yes, so, when I become that leader, when Modi becomes that leader, when Draupadi Murmu becomes that leader, when Dhoni becomes that leader, when an ordinary teacher becomes that Mother Teresa, leaders are looked up to. They are always going to be looked up to. Once we become a teacher, we are already occupying the pedestal of a leader. Whether we want or we don't want, we are already a leader there. Once I am a father, I am already a leader there. There is my wife who looks up to me. There are my kids who look up to me. The moment I become a teacher, there are students who look up to me. I am already occupying the pedestal of a leader. So, when I am already actually occupying the pedestal of a leader, you are being constantly watched, and leaders are expected to do the same principles to be followed again and again, again and again. Next day when the same person is going, if he sees an accident, or after seeing an accident, or some lady is going to flag him, requesting him, I am in labor pain, I don't know what to do, will you drop me to the hospital? Maybe he had to go to something very urgent. If he does not take a call of actually taking her to the hospital, within one more day, the same hero becomes a zero. Again I am telling you, the same hero becomes a zero within 1 minute. The same Kadi whom people respected him as a guru, and he becomes a zero there. Why? He did not live up to that expectation. It's not easy to become a leader, and once you become a leader, it is not easy to stay there as a good leader. It is not going to be easy. You may win one match by fluke, but consistently winning too many matches, you need leadership skills. That was there in Mahendra Singh Dhoni. To win one match, it can always be a fluke. To win multiple such matches, there need to be a leadership quality in you. That was Sourav Ganguly. And there are some of the players who did not have leadership skills. They don't feel bad. Tendulkar never had that captainship in his mind because he doesn't have that leadership skills which can bring the team together, not take pressure onto himself, not take stress onto himself, self-perform and also allow others to perform. Only he is called as a leader. That's the reason Tendulkar very clearly says, I cannot become a captain because the moment I take up the responsibility of everybody, I feel stressed and my performance drops down. When I cannot perform, that means I myself cannot perform, how can I be a captain? I can never be a captain. Captain is the one who has to be the highest performer. So, a leader is the one who has to be the highest performer. That is what Narendra Modi has exhibited to the world. When the world looks at Narendra Modi, what is that say? This man is a leader and we want him to be our leader. This is what every nation wants. And everybody has kept a benchmark like, I will have to work like Narendra Modi. What is jet lag for Narendra Modi? Nothing. If you go to US, you need 3 days to come to the terms of day and night. Because you'll dina iddaga allu hogirtire, allu dina irutte. Because you will be totally confused. Your entire biological system will be confused. Ratri yavado, agli yavado anta nimugu gottirodilla, nim body gu gottirodilla, nim mind gu gottirodilla. Neevu back to form barlikke you need at least 8 to 9 hours. But for Modi, jet lag is not going to make any difference. That is a yoga body. It knows how to take charge of it. He goes in one place, he will be in the morning, afternoon he is in some other place, evening he is in some other place, night he has come back to India and he is attending a conference there. That is the power of a leadership skill. Today, becoming a leader is very, very important. I don't say no, but when you become a leader, you will always be looked up to. To remain a leader, you will have to consistently keep exhibiting those responsibilities. The moment those responsibilities fail, you will have to voluntarily, you will have to withdraw. Tendulkar withdrew, I cannot be a captain. Sourav Ganguly withdrew, I cannot be a captain. Even Mahendra Singh Dhoni withdrew, I cannot be a captain. Even Virat Kohli withdrew, I cannot be a captain. Because to be a leader and to consistently be a leader, you need those qualities. And that has to be exhibited day in, day out. When I say I am a non-vegetarian, it is fine. But when I say I am vegetarian, you cannot say on Mondays and Thursdays and Saturdays I am a vegetarian, rest of the days I am non-vegetarian. That does not work. That means you are a non-vegetarian. You cannot become that leader. Now, what are all the other qualities which qualifies to be a leader? See, most of the time when we talk about leaders, a leader is the one who assumes unconditional responsibility. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನೇ ಬಂದರೂ ನಾನು ಅನ್ಕಂಡೀಷನಲ್ ಆಗಿ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅನ್ನೋರನ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರ we consider as a leader. If you cannot take that unconditional responsibility, you cannot become a leader. It was not easy to start demonetization because you should be ready to accept failure also. If something fails miserably, you should be ready to take the responsibility. All the previous 3-4 prime ministers were not ready to take up that responsibility. Modi told, "Apun le lega responsibility. Go ahead. We had to do demonetization much before. Let us do it now." GST was implemented in most of our neighboring countries. Just to take up that unconditional call, irrespective of whatever the results are going to be, I will take an unconditional responsibility. Go ahead and we will go on with GST implementation.
So
It requires
GST
guts.
comment ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್.
Nay, irrespective of that, to take that call. See, even demonetization, when the Reserve Bank of India consistently kept on telling that every country need to regularize their notes and keep changing the notes so that accumulation of notes in one place can be withdrawn. It is a beautiful system. People who have studied finance, they know it. Even then, when we talk about Congress Prime Minister, he wanted to take a call. It was his leaders who were actually responsible. They told, no, we will not take such risk. What if it hits back? What if it fires back? Uri, the surgical strike was not an easy task. I am going to send somebody, there is a risk that they are going to lose their lives. If I am ready to take up that responsibility, come on, go ahead. If anything happens, I'll take the responsibility. It requires that will, that leadership quality to take what is called as unconditional responsibility. Who is a good captain? Who is ready to take up that unconditional responsibility? There is last over and so many runs is required. Should I give the over to Harbhajan Singh or should I give the over to somebody else? That call, that unconditional call has to be taken by a leader, and even that responsibility also has to be taken by a leader. This is what is the first quality of a leader. As a leader, are you ready to take up unconditional responsibility? But yes, you do take unconditional responsibility in certain places, not in all places. Are you ready to take unconditional responsibility in all the places? No, only in certain places you take. A simple example, as a father, you are ready to take up unconditional responsibility. As a neighbor, are you ready to take up unconditional responsibility? No. There is section 144, shoot at sight order is there. Your 8 months old daughter is having a high fever. You know you cannot step out, people are going to shoot you. But do you dare to stay at home? No. You will pick up the car and you will start driving. Maybe an army officer will stop you and you will say, if you move, I'm going to shoot you. What will you say? Sir, shoot me. If my daughter is no more, there is no point in me living alive. Whether you shoot or you don't shoot, I need to take the daughter to the hospital. She's not keeping well. The army men will say, okay, I will join you. Come, let us go to the hospital. You are ready to take up that unconditional responsibility. But if your neighbor is sick and the same section 144 is there, are you ready to take up that unconditional responsibility? No. But a person who is ready to take up that unconditional responsibility for a larger cause, he automatically qualifies to become a leader. That is what Modi is capable of. That is what actually Gandhiji was capable of. He was ready to take up unconditional responsibility for the cause of the larger group. When you are ready to take up unconditional responsibility for the cause of the larger group, enough good will happen to you and enough miracles also will happen. What miracles? Gandhiji, did he chase the Britishers out of India? No. He told, I am going to chase the Britishers out of India. That too with ahimsa. People ridiculed him. But afterwards, people look at you, sometimes they laugh at your decision. People look at you, sometimes they actually make fun of your decisions. And when your decision is held stronger, people will have no other reason. They will simply start following you when you are not ready to bulge. When you hold on to that unconditionally, when you are not ready to bulge, people will simply follow you. That is what happened with Gandhiji. He went on saying, we will fight these Britishers out of India. We will chase them out of India. How? With ahimsa. People ridiculed. Bapuji, what are you talking about? Do you think they are going to listen to you? That too with ahimsa? Are you not feeling that you are not talking to pet animals? They are wild animals. They were never considered as humans. I am telling, they are not pet animals, Bapu. They are wild animals. He told, irrespective of, in spite of they are wild animals, I am going to maintain this as constant. What is that? I am going to follow ahimsa. And slowly, not only the entire nation, the entire world followed him. And Gandhiji was not only responsible to chase the Britishers out of India, he was also responsible to chase the Britishers from most of those places where Britishers had occupied. Why? Because everybody, people started thinking, why not ahimsa? It really works. Nelson Mandela, why not Ahimsa? It really works. Anna Hazare, why not Ahimsa? It really works. And it really did do miracle, and that's the reason he's still considered as father of the nation. We don't know father of which nation. Most of them consider he's the father of their nation because he was also responsible for their freedom. Britishers who had to leave India, they had to leave most of the other places also, because slowly these nations started coming together and they started revolting against the Britishers. So when I say are you ready for taking unconditional responsibility, in some places you are ready, not in all places. What is that? When somebody gives you a responsibility which comes because you are the eldest of the family, that is a what is called as accepted responsibility. What is assumed responsibility is I take a decision that I am going to help him unconditionally. That is called as assumed responsibility. If the same person who was just passing by, if he was his own relative or his own father or his own son or his own cousin, what will he do? He will assume unconditional responsibility. Why? Because he is his relative. That what you assume unconditionally is called as you have volunteered to take up that responsibility. Something which has been accepted is something which has come to you by default. Even in that accepted case, if you don't execute the leadership skills, you will never remain a leader. That's the reason even in the family members, most of you will say, illa chikkannan kelbeku. Chikkanna yake? The doddana? Illa the doddana, he doesn't take any such decisions. Chikkanna takes all the responsibility. So Chikkanna becomes the leader. Even among the kings of those who have ruled India, it is not always Dodana who was an emperor. Most of the places, it was the youngest son who was a ruler or the middle son who was a ruler. It always depends on, are you ready to execute that unconditional responsibility after you have been given that leadership skills. How will people identify? They will give small responsibilities and they will check, are you executing it right or wrong. When you can execute small responsibility rightfully, you will automatically execute bigger responsibilities rightfully. That is what you should also give your students. Start giving them small responsibilities and tell them to execute on their own. When they are capable of executing on their own, automatically bigger responsibility comes. But when you look at you and me also, we are not ready to take up small responsibilities seriously. When can I become a leader? When I look at that entire flow, I can only become a leader only when I am a strong follower of a leader. Initially, I start following a leader unconditionally, and slowly, because I have been following a leader unconditionally, I will have few people who are going to follow me unconditionally. That is when I become a leader. So you will have to execute both the characters, means flawlessly. First you will have to become a very serious follower, and slowly you will have a following happening to you. But most of the time, for small things, you are not ready to take responsibilities. You want only a bigger responsibility to be given, and then you get ready to take responsibility. It doesn't work like that. Now we have seen the difference between assuming and accepting, conditional and unconditional. What I mean by conditional, if he is my daughter, I will definitely take her. If he is not my daughter, I don't want to bother. Accident has happened. Who is he? He is my relative, I will definitely help. He is not my relative, I don't want to help. Who needs blood? Is it you? I am ready to give the blood. If it is for your friend, no, I am not interested. So most of us become that conditional. When you become that conditional, that doesn't qualify you to become a leader. Now, when we talk about a leader, some of the leadership skills are earned by being a husband, by being a father, by being a mother, by being an elder brother, by being an elder sister. So you take up the responsibility and you start executing. But some of it is being given to you because of your caliber. A student is identified to become a sports captain because of the caliber of how he plays the game, how he manages the team. So that is something which has come, which has not been assumed, it has been given to you. And then when such responsibility is given to you, you should execute it, actually giving lot of positive results. If you cannot execute giving positive results, it does not work. Let me share a beautiful story. Why I am actually talking about this is, the first condition was, Who is a leader? Leader is the one who is ready to take up unconditional responsibility. See, it was during the time of World Cup 2020, the first World Cup. India had never practiced any such World Cup game. ಅಂದ್ರೆ 2020 ಅನ್ನೋ ಮ್ಯಾಚಸ್ ನ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಆಡಿದ್ದೇ ಕಮ್ಮಿ. ಮೊದಲನೇ ಸತಿ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಕಪ್ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ದ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಎ ವೆರಿ peculiar situation because they never had any person who had very good exposure in playing 2020. Nobody. Now they had to form a team and they had to send for the first World Cup. So what they decided, let us have a blend of senior players irli, junior players irli, ee blend na kalskottaga, because it is a first World Cup, let them experience the game. We are not expecting them to win. That is what was the management decision. Management had already decided the first 2020 World Cup will be an exposure for our team. Let us have seniors and juniors put together with one of the senior as a captain. This was there in their mind. So what the management will decide, ಅವರು senior team members no ಕರೆಸ್ತಾರೆ, junior team members no ಕರೆಸಿ, both of them are kept in the different rooms. They come to the senior most room and they will start asking, we want to decide on the captain, who is going to be the captain. So can you please let me know who would like to captain. Sourav Ganguly told, I don't want to be a part of a team also. 2020 is a new kind of game. I think youngsters will do justice to it. And they asked Rahul Dravid, he also told, I don't want to be the part of the team. They asked Harbhajan told, I'll play the game but I cannot be a captain, you know I'm not a good captain. Tendulkar told, I'll definitely play, you know I'm not a captain, I don't want to be a captain. Now, they had to select a captain here. Forget about captain, most of the players were not ready to even go and play because it was a new kind of a game. They were not ready to take up unconditional responsibility even if failure happens. They were allergic to the word failure. A leader is the one who should not be allergic to the word failure. He should know that only ahead of multiple failure is a success. Always remember this. After you fail multiple times only you will have a success, because behind every success there has to be a multiple failure. A leader is the one who knows this and he actually accepts failure as one of the incident. He doesn't take it personally. I give you the same example. Thomas Alva Edison did not think he failed 9,999 times. He felt like I knew 9,999 ways how a bulb should not be manufactured. Otherwise it is not going to consistently work. That should be the leadership quality. Unconditionally, you should be ready to even accept failures. The senior team were afraid of failure and they told they don't want to be a part of a team. They come to the junior most members. Now, here the management had a challenge. They had to even appoint what is called as a captain. Means they had to appoint a captain. And they also wanted to take the major players from this group. Now, they never wanted to ask for who want to be a captain. They want to put it in a sarcastic way, as though they wanted to see how many of you would be ready if at all you were given a captainship. So simply they put it out. We have already selected the team members, we have already selected the captain, but in case if we decide that we want to have youngsters only as captain, who would like to become the captain? There was one hand which raised immediately, and that was Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Immediately took his hand and said, "Apun captain banega." "Oh Dhoni, captain banega, jeet ke aayega?" "Pakka jeet ke aaunga." He had nothing to lose. He told, "I will win and I will come back." That unconditional responsibility was important, and also he was ready to lead by example. Yes, the first match miserably they lose it. Every newspaper starts writing what kind of captaincy is being declared. A person who has no experience is being given the captainship. What happened to the senior most team? Why the senior team is not considered as a part of the team? How will they come out and say, as a management, our seniors were not ready to go and play? It was closed door meeting. Every newspaper writes in a negative about the team and the captain Mahendra Singh Dhoni. But there was no looking back. Mahendra Singh Dhoni told, "I took up this captaincy unconditionally. I'm ready to listen to whatever I say." And he never went through any of the news. He just went up to the next match. and they won the match. After that, they won the semi-final. After that, they won the final. There was no looking back. A leader was already identified, and the leader had to simply execute. After he was declared, means after he won the World Cup 2020, there was no looking back. He was also offered one-day international captainship. He took it up. There also he executed beautiful responsibility, and again there was no looking back. He was also offered the captainship of Test match. He took it up and he also executed it beautifully. And afterwards, when his form started coming down, he thought it should be the right time for the youngsters to play. He took a retirement, voluntary retirement, and today he is considered to be one of the best captains. That's how life is going to be. So a leader is the one who is ready to lead by example. See, always you will have to lead from the front. Alexander did not say, "आप लोग युद्ध करो, मैं पीछे आऊँगा." No, Krishnadevaraya did not say, "आप लोग युद्ध करो, मैं पीछे आऊँगा." They always led from the front. So a leader is the one who is not going to be the boss. He will be a person among them who will lead from the front. That is what we say. A leaders are the one who lead from the front. When we talk about Mahatma Gandhi fighting for independence, and leaders are the one, they always stood for something. Whenever you call yourself a leader, you should stand for something, and that should be till your last breath. You cannot change. So when we talk about all these great leaders, they always led by example. Mahatma Gandhi fighting for freedom, he led by example. Mother Teresa lifting the life of the poor, she led by example. Narayan Godre from a 3-bedroom house to a revolution, he actually led by example. That is where the cause was for his so-called son-in-law to become the first British Prime Minister. It is something for which we can feel very proud about. We always thought the Britishers ruled us. For the first time, let us feel happy, but not tell it in open, unnecessary creating chaos there, because no Britishers would love to hear this if I say we are ruling you. No, he's leading a responsibility of a prime minister in order to help enough citizens do good. That is what he told. He never told I am ruling you. Leaders are the one who lead by example. So that has to be there. Dhirubhai Ambani from 10,000 to 1 crore. So in the family also, as a parent, we take up unconditional responsibility and we do it. And the third very important is, leaders are the one who leads by example. See, most of the actions what you perform, you will have to lead by example. Some mistake happened, immediately you also cut a sorry. Let it be a student in front of you, let it be your son in front of you. Leaders are the one who lead by example. You will have to appreciate before you expect others to appreciate. You will have to show humbleness before others show humbleness. You will have to show dropping bad habits before others can do it. You cannot go and preach people not to smoke when you yourself are smoking. You cannot go out and preach people that exercising will keep the body actually healthy. Only an healthy body can have an healthy mind. Adu ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. But when can you be? You can only do it when you can lead it by example. That becomes very, very important. Most of the time ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ we always use it, but we don't follow it. Leaders are the one who walk their talk. ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಆ ಥರ ನಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ಒಂದು example na you will have to do it. Let me share a beautiful story, because most of the time ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, when you lead by example, people see you and follow more than what they hear and follow. So as a parent, as a teacher, as a leader, I cannot be doing any such mistake, because when people look at me doing such mistake, your entire leadership personality will be blown into pieces. I should not take this example. You cannot imagine something negative about Modi. You cannot imagine something negative about Abdul Kalam. You cannot imagine something negative about Vajpayee ji. So why? Because you have seen them in the purest form. So that lead by example has to be practiced. It was one such incident which happened, I still remember. I have my friend who knows I am a trainer. We usually go to office together. One day when I went to his home, it was not a working day, but we went to his home because he had called me for a coffee break. So early in the morning, it was a Republic Day, I went to his house, and in the Republic Day, in the front page, there was this 4 lions, the national anthem, which was there, the national symbol, and at the bottom it was written in Sanskrit. Our daughter, who was around 6 years old, She asked her Papa, what is this? He told, as soon as she asked that, ನಾನು ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗೋದು ಒಂದೇ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಯಿತು. My friend wanted to prove that he can also explain things better than me. So what he told, my little angel, it means Satyameva Jayate. Then he asked, what does that mean? Satyameva Jayate means. He started explaining. Satyameva Jayate means ultimately truth will win. So what should we practice, Papa? Always practice truthfulness. Never tell a lie. Never ever tell even a small lie. Because ultimately truth alone shall win. When all this was happening, all of a sudden his mobile started ringing. And the dial tone was dog barking. Bow, 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 bow. When will we keep dog barking ringtone? Only when your boss calls. I also know my boss is calling because my boss and his boss is the same. His wife also knew boss is calling. Daughter also knew boss is calling. And he just calls his wife, hey, are yaar, I'm just explaining Satyameva Jayate, you do like this. You pick up the call and you say, I've gone to restroom. She comes to pick up the call, then it stops ringing, and then he continues. See, daughter, Satyameva Jayate means ultimately truth shall win. So for whatever reason, many a times I have seen you telling lies. You should never tell lies from now onwards. Promise me? Okay, Papa, I promise I will never tell a lie. Again, the mobile starts ringing. Bow, 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 bow. Again, he shouts at his wife, how many times I should tell you? You pick up this call and you tell him I have gone out. I will only come in the afternoon. Yes, left the mobile at home. To tell him something and then keep it. This daughter is saying, Papa, he again calls, it's still ringing, ma, why don't you do something? She says, Papa, what? Papa, just now you told truth alone shall win. Just now you took a promise from me, don't tell a lie for whatever reason. Why are you telling a lie, Papa? Stop telling lies, Papa. Then he realizes, oh, okay, now I should not tell a lie. Most of us are like that. Whatever the rules and regulation is for the outside world, it is not for us. That doesn't work because people see us more and then they follow. I cannot influence my son not to smoke if I am myself smoking. I cannot influence my students actually to be healthy without I being healthy. So all these are the disciplines which has to be first laid on to ourselves, and then following it, I can always lead with examples. Let us play a simple game because all of us know what we see, we get influence more than what we hear. You can also play with your students. Can you stretch your hands like this? Okay. You should not fold it. Okay. Now listen to my instructions. For every multiples of 3, you will have to clap. For every multiples of 3. You should always hold your hands straight and you should only clap for every multiples of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಕ್ಲಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? What I told, only for every multiples of 3. Okay? Ready, steady, go. Straight ಆಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. ಎಲ್ಲ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? Why? Because my instruction has gone to your head, but what you see is what you follow. I am clapping for every count of 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. As soon as I clap, you are also clapping. So what we say is you will have to lead by example. Students follow what they see, then actually what they hear. Can you actually follow this? And leadership qualities could be even taking small responsibilities in small things. Let us form a team and we will play a simple game. We will call it as A group and B group. It could be a very simple looking game also. We will have only for 5 numbers because 5 and 5 till 10 is there. 1, sir, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ನೀವು ಒಂಚೂರು ಆ ಕಡೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್. ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಆ ಚೇರ್ನ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಸರ್ಸ್ಕೊಬಿಡಿ. So A team is this for 5 members, B team is this. I'm talking about taking responsibility. As a leader, you should have that creativity, you should have that interpersonal skills of actually bringing everybody together, giving importance to everybody, actually forming a group, forming a team, leading a team, and setting an example for the team. This becomes an important responsibility. But initially, if you cannot become a part of a team, you can definitely never become a lead of a team. First, you will have to be a part of a team. As a part of a team, people are observing, hey, he's an extreme player. Yeah? He talks to everybody, he makes everybody feel comfortable, he makes everybody feel that they can also do things. I think we should make him the lead. So that automatically comes. Are you ready to take up that? We will take up few numbers just for our understanding. You can call 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have 0 to 4 numbers here. Yeah, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, all of you remember your numbers 0 to 4. And we will go for alphabets also. A, B, C, D, F, E, A to E. Okay, A, B, C, D, E. So we have A to E. We'll play a simple game. It is a simple game. Irrespective of whatever the game is, I want to participate 100%. I'm eating idli. Irrespective of whatever is the outside world, I want to eat idli like I have never eaten before. I am given an activity. Can I participate in this activity? Keeping everything aside, I will do like my entire life is lying on this activity, and my complete focus has to be like that. That is when you actually exhibit leadership skills. In the final game of Chak De India, which is a true story, we will not be looking from the perspective of the actors and actresses there. We will look at the story. When it was last 20 minutes which had to be played during the break, he calls them and he says, अभी ऐसा सोचो ये 20 minutes आपका life का बहुत important क्षण है, and you will never get it back. It is life and death, and you will have to play with so much of focus. Not even 1 second you will have to get distracted. And this kind of a practice he had given them multiple times, even in the playground. And that is when they took it very, very seriously, and the last 20 minutes how they play will actually end the game, India becoming the first Women's World Cup winner in hockey. And that was a beautiful experience. That is how it has to be played. Now, as soon as I ask you, you will have to come. The first exercise is yaar beg martira within a count of 10. Whoever does first, you will have to raise your hand. Okay, so you will have to stand in order 0 to 4. Whoever stands first, A team, B team, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. ನೀವು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಬರ್ದಲೇ ಇರೋರ್ನ ಕರೀರಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಟೀಮ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್? ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ದರ ಎಳ್ಕೊಂಬಂದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಲ್ಸೋದಲ್ವಾ? Whoever is ready, you say you are ready.
Ready, sir.
Yeah, they were ready. So we will give them 1 point. Yeah, all of you can sit. Go back. ಆಯ್ತು, ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾಯ್ತು. ಸರ್, ನೀವು 3 ಜನ ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕರಿಬೇಕು ತಾನೆ? Nobody took leadership skills. ಎಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರ ಪಾಡಿಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ಬಂದ್ರು. See, everybody's responsibility is nobody's responsibilities. Somebody will have to take charge. Create a lead and let him take charge, and he will start working on it. Yeah, please be seated. Yeah, I need you to make a number for 5,402.
5,400.
I will only say it once. Come quick, from right to left. ಬೇಗ ಎದ್ದೇಳಿ. ಅದೇ ತಳ ಇಟ್ಮೇಲೆ ಎದ್ದೇಳೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ.
5 ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಸರ್? 5 ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. 4 ಬರೀ ಮಾತ್ರ.
You can leave it blank.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದು 5 ಈ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗ್ರೆ
5,402 ಮಾಡಿ.
Ready, sir?
You are
Ready?
ನೀವು
5.
5 ಇಲ್ವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. So ಇದು ಸೊ ಫೈನ್ ಹಂಗೆ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಬಿಟ್ಬೇಡಿ. 402 ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಗಿತ್ತು.
402 right, sir? 024
Who is ready?
402.
Ready, sir?
Sir ನೀವು ನೀವು
4.
Yeah. Go back. ಆಯ್ತು ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಆಯ್ತು. ಯಾಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ತಡ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಟೀಮ್. ಒಂಚೂರು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Okay. Now okay. ಈಗ ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ 2 marks, ನಿಮಗೆ 2 marks. See, by the count of 10, whoever will make, I want you to form maximum triangles using pen. Maximum triangles using pen. I'll give you to 25 counts. ಪೆನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಟ್ರಯಾಂಗಲ್ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿ ನನಗೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಪೆನ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಆಕ್ಯುಪೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪೆನ್ಗಳಿದೆ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಟು ಈ ಟೀಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾರನ್ನ ಒಬ್ರು ಬೇಗ ಎದ್ದು ಬನ್ನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಯೂಸ್ ದ ಪೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡೂ ಆಸ್ ಮೆನಿ ಟ್ರಯಾಂಗಲ್ಸ್. ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ ಸರ್. ಸರ್ ನೀವು ಈ ಕಡೆ ಬನ್ನಿ. 10 ಸರ್ ಹಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಪೆನ್ 9 8 ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ಪೆನ್ನಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. 9 8 7 6 5 4 3
ಹಂಗೆ ಜಾಯಿನ್
1 0 ಸ್ಟಾಪ್. ಸ್ಲೋಲಿ ಅಯ್ಯೋ ನಾನು ಈ ಕಡೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. ಇಲ್ಲ ಏನಾಗಿಲ್ಲ.